Let us go through the details about Hive functions. For most of the functions we have seen as part of org.apache.spark.sql.functions, we have counterparts in Hive as well. So here I am trying to connect to the Windows machine on which I want to demonstrate. So I have launched the Ubuntu and now I am connecting to the gateway node of our cluster. Now I am launching Spark Shell. Also I am launching another session and connecting to the gateway node of our cluster. In this session I am actually launching Hive. So there is one session running with Spark Shell and the other session will be running using Hive. So if we have to validate using Hive, we can do that as part of the Hive session. Now if I want to get list of functions that are available as part of Hive, you can actually run command called spark.sql.functions.show. However, most of those functions that are available as part of Hive are similar to what we have seen under org.apache.spark.sql.functions. If you hit tab, you will get all the list of functions. However, when it comes to syntax, it will be a bit different between what we see as part of the functions that comes under this package and the functions we have as part of Hive. Very minute differences with some of the commands, not or with some of the functions, not with all the functions. So to get list of the functions, now I can actually say spark.sql show functions. There are around 300 functions. I do not remember the exact count. Actually, we can run count on this spark.sql show functions command and see the number of functions that are available. Meanwhile, we can also run this under Hive. There are 244 functions. In this case, it is showing 271. I think some of the operators are also listed here. That being said, if you want to get all the functions, you can actually say show off 300 so that we get all the functions. You can see the function names here. To get the details with respect to the usage of this function or syntax and semantics of these functions, you can run spark.sql describe function name. So let us look for substring. However, it will return a data frame, and if you say show, as the output will be truncated, you will not be getting all the details in a proper manner. To get all the information and to understand what this function is all about, you can actually say show false, and then you will get the description of the function. So if you want to get the syntax of a given function, you can actually use this describe function command, and you should be able to see the details here. Based on this, you will be able to use the function. Now when it comes to using the functions, sometimes we might not have dataset to explore. So in Oracle, if you are from Oracle background, typically if you want to validate any function, how will you do that? You would typically use select and then function name, let's say substring. Substring takes 3 arguments, string, position and length. So let's say I want to get first 5 characters of hello world. We typically specify the function like this following the syntax, and then we will say from dual. Dual is a view in Oracle which can be used in validating the queries, or especially the queries which use functions. It will have one column and one value in it, and it is quite extensively used to get system date or current date or validating any function like substring, etc. Now when it comes to Hive or even in MySQL, there is nothing like dual. The approach which we validate the function is just give the function name like this and then semicolon and hit enter, and it will work without any issue. So now I can actually copy this and go to the Hive session and paste it. Semicolon is mandatory in Hive, so we have to specify the semicolon, and you can see the first 5 characters HELLO from this hello world main string. Now if you want to validate as part of the Spark SQL, what you have to do is you just have to say spark.sql, and as spark.sql take any valid Hive command or function or even any query DDL statement, anything which is valid in Hive can be passed as part of spark.sql. Most of the commands or queries will work, so we can actually paste that here. However, when it comes to spark.sql, we have to pass the string in double quotes if you are using Scala as programming language. In that case, the strings has to be in single quotes, which we pass to the functions like substring as part of the queries. You cannot have the string also in double quote when the main string is under double quotes. It will conflict and it will throw errors. And now I can close this and then I can say show, and you should be able to see the output here. Now when it comes to the functions, whatever functions we have seen earlier in detail with respect to string manipulation, date manipulation, etc. are available here also. So you can actually explore the same set of functions which we have seen while exploring the data frame operations, and you should be able to use those things as part of the queries as well. However, if you want to list the functions, instead of using org.apache.spark.sql.functions, you always have to run this command called spark.sql show functions to get the list of functions, identify the appropriate function, get the syntax syntax of that function using describe function, and then start using it as part of your data processing logic. Now let us see one simple example and then we'll move on. Here I'm actually creating a data frame called orders from JSON dataset, which is available under public retail db JSON and then orders. Now you can say orders dot show and you should be able to see the data. Let's say I want to get this part of the date and ignore the rest of the date portion. First, to run queries in the SQL format, I have to register it as a temp table. So I can say orders dot create temp view orders, and then I can say spark.sql select substring order date 1 comma. We have to capture all these 10 different characters. So we can just say 1 comma 10, and then from orders and then dot show and hit enter. You got whatever you are looking for from the data set. Okay. So this is how you can actually use any of the functions that are available in Hive as part of spark.sql by using those functions as part of your select query or where or even group by etc. We can also leverage other operators like case and when if you want to write conditional logic while writing queries using SQL.